What's up, everybody? Ty Bartellin with another edition of Coach's Corner. This time we're joined by my man over there in Soup City, home of the Campbell Memorial Red Devils boys basketball team, Nick Canterino. Coach Canterino joining me today. How are we doing, Coach?
Good, Ty. How about yourself?
Not doing too bad myself. And I mean, you haven't been doing too bad with this Red Devils program the last few years. It's seen a ton of success, and you guys have been able to build it and culminate it to where it seems like there's a almost set standard of expected success here from these Red Devils and from the bottom up. What have you been seeing, though, this year so far in the practice season and the scrimmage season from the Red Devils? What stood out to you?
Well, I mean, just the last couple of years, it's just the willingness of these kids to want to compete. That's the first and foremost. These kids just get after it. That they love basketball. Anytime we have open gyms or workouts, they're here. They're showing up. They're doing what they're supposed to do. They're just feeding off each other. And we have a great group this year. We're just starting off with scrimmages. We've had two. Had some ups and downs so far, but I mean that's early basketball. But yeah, we're definitely excited about this group and anxious to see what the season holds for us.
Let's talk about some of the names we're going to have to get used to on the floor this year and some names that are going to be garnering some big minutes on the floor for the Red Devils.
Okay. We have a good returning depth. Josue Rodriguez was one of our leading scorers last year. We're looking forward to him taking the next step. Tion Harris, big-time energy guy. Good rebounder, good defender. Just a great, like I said, energy guy who's going to bring a lot to the table. We have Christos Davis and Mahali Koulias. Same thing. Great energy guys. Christos is a guard who can handle the ball, shoot the ball a little bit. Mahali, just straight energy, good defense. And then we got Jared Colon who's going to run some point for us, which we're excited about. Last couple of years, we've had multiple people run the point who, maybe weren't point guards. So we're excited about having a true point guard this year come in and, kind of lead the troops.
You guys have been at or near the top of the conference, too, in this string of success the last few years, winning a few conference crowns along the way. Talk to me about just being able to constantly compete in it night in and night out in this very, very tough MVAC Gray division and how you guys expect to do it again this year.
Definitely looking forward to it. We actually switched tiers this year.
Switched tiers, yeah. You competed in that one. So now I completely forgot about that. Forgive me. So yeah, you got a whole new wave of competition too going into that. Have you done your scouting? Have you done your homework in that?
Starting to a little bit. That gray tier was we had some good matchups there. Built some great relationships with some of them coaches. I felt like us, Falls, and LeBray just had really good games. Even Liberty, like we had some good battles with them guys. So now it's, finding these new rivalries, these new matchups, and, kind of see what the future holds here. But, we're expecting to compete. We've been at the top, like you said, the last couple of years, and we're hoping to be able to come to this new tier and hopefully be at the top.
I mean, it's exciting for sure. I mean, you guys have almost a completely revamped schedule, and we saw that starting in the volleyball season. Forgive me, I forgot you guys made that switch and when Southeast joined the gray one as well, too. It slipped my mind. But you talk about that. You talk about some of the non-conference games as well, and you guys have a pretty strong non-conference schedule there as well. How do you feel about the schedule overall, testing your guys, and most importantly, I would say probably from game one, game two, just seeing that growth and seeing this team start to gel?
Yeah, I mean, we've always believed in getting tough non-conference just to prepare us. We have a lot of good teams around here. The last few years we've been playing Mooney, JFK, who've had a lot of success. They're two of the most successful the last few years, getting regionals and all that. So we like to test ourselves, Struthers, Poland, Girard, Badger. So, we want to test it early. Like that's how you get ready for conference play. So that's kind of been how we've been the last few years, just challenge our guys and see how we respond.
When I've talked to a lot of smaller school coaches about the way that divisions have expanded now in playoffs, they've talked about how it's the field is different for the bigger schools. The path is just shorter for the smaller schools. Do you agree with that and what you've seen? And now that there's expanded divisions for playoffs, does it seem like a lot of those same teams you were running into or kind of be there before? The path just might be a little bit shorter?
I mean, that's a tough one. We've looked. I mean, it's tough to tell on paper. Mm-hmm. We got some new teams that have had success in the past. So you're not really sure what they bring back. I mean, I think the obvious thing is you kind of get rid of those couple juggernauts we've had the last few years. Like the Lutheran East was always with
Yeah.
us. So, I mean, we're happy they're not around.
I'm sure that's always a big juggernaut team there, no
Yeah, but I
doubt.
mean, you never know year to
Yeah.
year with some of these other teams that we're not very familiar with. I'm sure there's going to be some tough competition, but like you said, just on paper, you're kind of missing that juggernaut that's kind of been there the last handful of years. So we'll kind of see how that plays out.
Yeah, you're gonna have to beat someone good the further you
Exactly.
get anyway, too. Let's talk about what your team's strengths are gonna be and what you guys are gonna need to do identity-wise, what it's gonna look like for the Red Devils this year. What you're gonna need to do to get your wins.
Well, we're going to pressure the ball on defense. We have a pretty small backcourt, but they get after it on defense, and we're going to hope pressure leads to some easy buckets. I think offensively, we're going to play fast. We're going to try to get the ball down the court, get a bunch of shots up. But I think it all comes down to defense with us. I think the last few years it always has. We're not going to quite have the length that we've had the last couple of years, but I think pressure-wise we'll be able to make up for that.
Do you see yourself going into this season preparing differently now that you've seen this string of success? And does it feel like a standard's being set with the boys as well, too, that they want to repeat what they saw last year's team do or maybe excel from last year's team?
Yeah, I mean, we were expecting a little bit more last year, honestly. I mean, I think we underachieved to a
Really?
point. I mean, we won 16 games, but the goal is not always to win games. We went in wanting to win the league. We went in wanting to try to get to a district, and we kind of fell short. With the new format with the playoffs, we were kind of surprised with some of the teams that jumped our way, and had a tough row there. Lost to a team that lost in the district championship. So I mean, nothing to hold your head about, but like I said, we felt with the depth we had last year and some of the experience, we thought it would have been a little bit better. So, I mean, these guys are, and again, we got 4 or 5 kids who played a lot of minutes last year coming back, and I think they're hungry to go further.
It seems like that interest is staying strong with basketball in the Campbell community, but it also from both the players and the fans and community perspective, because it feels like you guys every year get great turnout, great support for the basketball games. Tuesday, Friday night, it doesn't matter when you guys are playing to home or road, that it feels like they follow well as well. What's it like to have that type of community support? How much does it help trying to build the program and build the guys' confidence?
Absolutely. I mean, these kids feed off it. When our gym gets packed, it gets so loud, and that environment's just awesome for high school basketball. It's awesome to play in. Like I said, it gets so loud you can't hear. The adrenaline pumps, the kids feed off it. Like I said, it's a fun environment to be around. Hopefully we'll be in a lot of those this year.
When you talk about right now from a coaching perspective, your short-term goals, say from now until game 1, and your long-term goals, say from now until game 22, end of the regular season, going into tournament draw or after tournament draw, what would you say some of those short-term and long-term goals for this specific team are?
I mean, short-term is just trying to figure out what rotation, the rotation, how it works, who plays well with each other. Just trying to figure out, how many guys we're going to play, to keep us in a rhythm. That's kind of what you use scrimmages for. So hopefully by December 3rd, we have an idea of what our rotation is and, what we want to do with each group. And then just kind of building off that, using the season, get some quality opponents. Hopefully we put some wins together. And so we always want to compete for championships, and especially with the expanded divisions, we think we have a chance to do something. What that something is will determine, throughout this year, how we respond and how we come together as a team. But we definitely have some high expectations around here for this year.
I always like to give my coaches an opportunity to shout out their staff and highlight some other big names in their program. So I want to give you that opportunity this year as well.
Yeah, my assistant coach, our varsity assistant, is Paulo DePasquale. Really good coach. Kids love him. He's going to be a really good head coach here pretty soon. But I love having him around. Like I said, kids just love him. We have a new JV coach, Eli Street, came over. Paulo actually coached him when he was in McDonald. Again, fitting in really well with us. Kids are really feeding off him. Excited about what they're going to do. And then with freshmen, we have Benji Santiago, who, again, kids love him. We love him. He's just entertainment. He helps keep everybody loose, but we just love talking with him, love having him around. So yeah, excited about our group of coaches here.
You guys do a great job, it feels like, of having that coach and player connection too, and building those coach and player connections. What's your particular secret to trying to connect with your players and trying to get the most out of them?
I think just having them in school, seeing them every day, having that daily conversation, just random conversations. Doesn't always have to be basketball, just kind of life, what they're up to, what they're watching, stuff like that. I think that just kind of feeds into it, but we all have the common goal. We want to compete, we want to win. And, these guys like working hard, and it makes my job a lot easier when they're there working hard every day. And we don't have to push for, working for them to, we don't have to coach up the effort. Some years we had to coach up effort, and that was all, you get so tired them years where they're not working as hard as they should, but we don't have that problem this year. And I said, I think that kind of just feeds the relationship and kind of get to focus on other things besides just basketball.
You could definitely tell every time your team's out there playing, they're putting 110% effort out there on the floor, no doubt. Coach, it's a theme question I've been asking a lot of the coaches this year, and it goes back to the lessons that the game teaches all of us. You're one of the teachers in the game. You've taught countless young men the sport of basketball and how it relates into their everyday lives. But I want to know what the biggest lesson the sport of basketball has actually taught you in your life.
Oh, man. I think it just, it gives you what you give it. If you give all your effort, you're going to see a lot of success and a lot of rewards from it. If you kind of go through the motions, you're going to see it. I've always felt like if you work hard, you have a chance. I kind of instill that in these guys, and I think we've done a pretty good job of kind of playing like that. And I take a lot of pride in working hard, not working people, and when we get outworked, I mean, there's nothing worse than that. So we always try to outwork everybody. And hopefully we continue to do that.
What's that old adage? Hard work beats effort. When effort doesn't work hard,
That's
it's one of those too. And I mean, like I said, man, your guys play hard for you, and you could definitely tell it. Final question for you, and it goes into our opening day too, both for boys and girls basketball. Opening tip-off and Thanksgiving correlates to me. It's always right around the same time, right? I need you to shout out your first game, shout out to the Campbell community, why they need to support you guys this year, but also shout out your favorite Thanksgiving Day dish.
Oh boy. I'm a big stuffing guy.
That's number one right now.
Yeah,
You're padding the lead right now for
it. Our first game is December 3rd at Girard. Hopefully we're getting a good turnout. Always excited to go back to my home school, my alma mater. Hopefully we put up a good effort, and like I said, hopefully the fans are there to watch us play.
I'm sure if anyone in the Campbell community is on the fence right now, you don't have to worry about the effort that this team's going to put out there, and they're going to have a ton of great athletes out there. I'm excited to see you this year, Coach, and within due time, we'll cross paths on the hardwood here real soon.
Looking forward to it.
All righty, Coach. It's been a first edition of Coach's Corner with Campbell Memorial's boys basketball skipper Nick Canterino.